All right, ready?
Let's do it.
Hi, I'm Pat X. This is another episode of PSYCHii. I'm here with Joy. We're gonna get weird right after this intro. Boom.
I said, baby, don't test me. I get cold as Wayne Gretzky. Baby, is you in it for the longevity? Cause if you're not, you can get distilled in that direction. My presence is a present. Come and get your
Once again, my name is Pat X. Did I already? Yes, I am Pat X. I thought about it and I was right. I'm Pat X. This is PSYCHii. I'm here with Joy. I'm not gonna say her whole name because I'm not sure how she feels about that. But before we get into this conversation, I just wanted to say what we're drinking. This is Tivana, I believe. It is the Mandarin. Is it Mandarin mimosa or
Mandarin comes first.
Yes,
Definitely.
Mandarin mimosa. She's drinking hers straight like a G.
Because it's better.
I have a splash of lemon in mine as well as some honey with the honeycomb still in it, which is cool but also inconvenient. So yeah, that's what we doing.
Tell people why it's inconvenient.
Oh, because it produces wax. And so it's almost like pulp. Well, no, because I like pulp. Unpopular opinion. But wax is not like pulp. It's
Gets stuck to your teeth.
Yeah, it gets stuck to your teeth. And I don't know. I guess it would be the equivalent of like cracking an egg and you have like a little bit of the shell in there. Maybe. But anyway, that's what we're drinking. But more importantly, debatably, I'm here with Joy. Joy, who are you, first of all? And then we can get into some convo. Who is Joy?
I'm just me. I work, I go to school, I got a kid. I'm not an interesting person.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Everyone's well, that's not true. Everyone has complexities, and I think complexity is interesting. Therefore, based on that sentiment, I would say everyone's interesting,
has
right?
something interesting about them.
Right.
Yep. Well, just because you have something interesting about you doesn't make you yourself interesting. It's just that one little piece.
This is true.
Yeah.
But then again, like, if that's the case, would you say, like, most people aren't interesting?
I think most people aren't interesting. I think the way they think would be, like, if you get into their thoughts and their thought processes. But overall, people are people who go to work, go to school or classes, and they go home and live life at home. And there are little tiny things that make them different from other people, but, like, corporate America has, like, washed us all out, and we all do the same thing.
See, and that's huge, because, like, you said people aren't interesting, but what they think, like, their thought processes and stuff they think about is what's interesting. Mm-hmm. And that's what I really like about this podcast, because we kind of dive into that. Small talk is lame.
Yeah.
Talking about, like, where you work to an extent is lame.
The weather.
But, like, asking you, like, what's something that you've thought about recently? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Somebody might, oh, no. But, like, in actuality, like, you probably thought about, like, you've been fixated on something, you know what I mean? Or just, like, whatever conversation you've had with yourself. So I think, like, that stuff is, like, the cool stuff. Stuff I like to talk about. So that being said, what's something that has been on your mind? What's a thought that has been plaguing you? Or something of the sorts?
Something that I think about a lot.
Oh, that's so good. Okay.
Oh, okay. So I'm moving away from everybody that I know. And people talk about the way that they were raised and how that goes into whether you can just pick up and go or whether you're someone who likes to stay in a central area. Mm-hmm. So like me, I have no attachments to anything. Everything from my childhood, I have in like one tote. And that toe can go with me, China, North America, South America, like it can go anywhere with me.
Right.
And so I can pick up and move at the whim of my job, basically. And so a lot of people say that that could be because of how I was raised and how I had just my mom or whatever, but people with 2-parent families have more of that central thing, and they want to stay in somewhere and have that like settled down mentality, I guess.
For sure. I think having like so much home base in South Carolina makes me want to like explore more. Cause like I have 2-parent families, but like anytime I like refer to family or like talk about family, a lot of times I'm like subconsciously talking about my mom's side of the family, because that's who I grew up around and all that good stuff. But yeah, I really like going out and like coming back. You know what I mean? Like I don't necessarily like being here, but I like returning here, if that makes sense.
It's that one place that keeps you grounded.
Right. If I want like everything to slow down, if I want normalcy, if I want like my roots, I'll come back home. But I don't like being home. I need that reminder, and then it's like, all right, back to like my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, not my life, but like the life that I'm creating. But every now and then, like that gets stressful or whatever, and then I'll go back to the life like that made me, if that makes sense, you know?
Yeah, I think I get where you're coming from, and I'm that, but inverted. And so I want to, unpopular opinion, I want to live in the middle of the city. The pollution, the cars honking, people on the streets bumping into each other, all of that I love because I grew up in the slow, we had horses, old people, and golf. And if you didn't do any of that, you were completely bored.
Yeah.
And so now I like the hustle and bustle, and I want all of that. And then I come home for like Christmas for 24 hours, and then Thanksgiving for 24 hours. But then I go back to my hustle and my bustle. I love it.
Yeah, I think we're on the same wave. Like, I wouldn't like live in like New York, maybe. Like, that might be a little too much like hustle and bustle for me, just because like, not that I don't enjoy the hustle and bustle, because I like it, but I'm also like introverted. So it's like, yes, let me experience the hustle and bustle, but I also like, give me the opt out. You know what I mean? Like, let me like vicariously experience the hustle and bustle and not like be so integrated. You know what I mean? Because you can't. It's kind of hard to be introverted in New York. You know what I mean? You have to interact with people. In Columbia or like smaller cities, if I don't want to talk to nobody that day, like, I don't have to talk to nobody that day. You know what I mean? You have to talk to somebody in New York. You know, that's going to be how you get on the train. That's going to be how you order whatever. You can't not interact with people in New York.
When I went up there last year, I was surprised because I hadn't been since I was a kid. And obviously when I'm a kid, I'm not doing anything I want to do. And I was asking for directions, and they were so nice. I thought everybody was going to be horrible, but like New Yorkers were so much nicer than I thought. And then I'm an extrovert. So honestly, people who were probably still being rude to me, I'm like, oh, ha, ha, ha. And like, I'm completely brushing it off and not caring. And I'm like, oh, thank you for this direction, even though I completely had to pull it out of you.
Yeah, there's such a stigma around like New Yorkers. I think like, one, the tolerance level in New York is like higher because you experience a whole lot of different personalities, a whole lot of whatever. You just can't be like, it's a lot harder to be passive aggressive in New York. You know what I mean? So like, if there's a racist person or like a bigot or like whatever, like down south, and like the sticks out here, like they can do that like passively. You know what I mean? They can say, hey, how you doing? And like nigger like under their breath when they walk away or something like that. In New York, it's like, I'm letting you know. You know what I mean? And sometimes you have to be like a little bit more like bold and like out there, because like I said, you're interacting with a whole bunch of people. It's a lot more like fast paced. You're not in the environment where, you know what I mean, you could be like a little bit more like subtle about things. And so a lot of times for us that comes across as like rude and like arrogant or whatever, but that's just like how you maneuver. They're not like assholes necessarily. It's just like they're a little bit more straightforward. Because in that environment, you need to be straightforward, you know? And
I think that's why I like it so much, is because there's no questions. Like, there's no ambiguity. And I'm someone who, as extroverted as I am, like social cues, I never feel awkward. I never feel embarrassed. I don't care what happened. Like, we're all human. Shit happens. So I'm never like super, super worried or embarrassed about things.
Yeah.
And so when I'm up there or when you're up there, you don't have to worry, well, does this person like me? Does this person not like me? Did this make me look stupid? Did this not make me look stupid? Because they going to let you know.
Right.
Like, there's no question
sure.
about that.
That's a good word to describe it, ambiguity. There's a lot of that here versus like it's just on the table in New York.
Yep.
So yeah, that's cool. And everybody's like, so I don't know. I like it. Anytime I go to New York, I always meet at least one person. We just like hit off a conversation, and then they get off, and then I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, just like this dope ass conversation for like 2 stops, and then
Yeah.
back to their life.
Yep. I used to date somebody who hated that about me because I remember this specific incident. We pulled up to a gas station and somebody's car was smoking. Nothing to do with me, but the car was smoking and there were people arguing in front of the car. I'm going to want to know what's going on. So there's a random person just standing there watching. So I go up to them and I'm like, hey, what happened over there? And she's like, why are you talking? Just go pay for the gas and come back in. Like, doesn't care about anything. And I'm just like, but there's stuff happening. I need to know.
Yeah, me, like, I'm curious, but at the same time, not my business. Not my business.
Oh, man. I said something to my kid. I was, like, texting her on the phone, and I'm like, she goes, who are you texting? I'm like, mind your business. And she looks at me deadpanned and goes, you know I don't know how to do that. I was like, well, I guess you're my kid, because I can't mind my business to save my life.
Because I know, like, if I ask or if I insert myself in a situation, if it's bad or, like, depending on what the extent, like, the information that I'm asking for, I now have some obligation to whatever it is, and I'm going to wish that I didn't. So 2 people are arguing, and you inquire about what's going on, and bro is putting his hands on her. Now it's like, fuck.
So when do you decide to step
This is
in?
a big nigga, too. You know? And it's like, man, now I have to do something, and I'm about to take this L. When I could have just... But the thing is, if I would have walked off and not asked what was going on, they would have just been like a madly in love couple who had an argument. Everything's fine. But because I decided to ask, it's some bullshit.
But no, because even if you don't ask and you see him put his hands on her, you still gotta step in.
Oh yeah, that's different. That's different. Then it's like I don't have to ask or inquire what's going on.
You can clearly,
you see.
Okay.
But whenever there's like that kind of
right before it
could
happens.
be either or. You know what I mean? Like this could just be them having an argument because people do that, or it could be like a situation. I feel like as soon as I insert myself, that's when it's the lesser, like the less ideal scenario out of the 2. And it's like, well, fuck.
Oh.
All right, this is a thing, by the way, y'all. Anything that is a cup or a bowl.
That's hilarious.
That's a lot, too.
I wonder how long it was in there before you noticed it.
I don't know. We'll play it back. It might be good for you.
That's so funny.
I'd imagine it's not bad for your hair.
I do a tea rinse, actually.
Really?
I do a green tea rinse after complicated hair process. But you oil your hair, which is a pre-poo because shampoo dries your hair out. So
A pre-poo?
It's a pre-poo.
I have pre-poos. It's not the same thing.
I like mine much better. Mine smell better, too.
Okay.
But yeah, so you pre-poo, then you shampoo, and then you stop laughing at it. Then you do your tea rinse after you shampoo.
Okay. Is that an actual term, to pre-poo?
Yes. Anybody in the natural hair community knows what pre-pooing is.
Pre-poo. So my pre-poo is sometimes I'll just like sit on the toilet and just like be on my phone before I actually have to use it.
I don't do that anymore because I read, I don't know when, where, but I read something and it was like, you're not supposed to sit on the toilet for longer than 10 minutes. I don't know why, don't know when, or if it was even a credible source.
How long do you poo though? Because the actual process of me pooping is like 10 seconds. But
See,
I'll be on the toilet for like 5 or 10 minutes.
I got a compliment about that. Weirdest compliment I think I've ever received. second weirdest. But yeah, and they were like, I like being around you because you wait until you have to poop. Then you go and then you come out. And so my process is like maybe 2 minutes at the same time it takes me to pee. It doesn't take long. Because I'm not going to go sit on the toilet. Like, then everybody knows you're pooping. And as a woman, it's just not ladylike and blah, blah, blah.
Because girls don't poop.
Exactly. We don't fart. We don't poop. We don't vomit.
They only pre-poo. Shampoo, apparently. But no, that's cool, though. I don't know. I have, like, profound thought when I'm on the toilet, though. Like, I have great ideas on the toilet.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's, like, a metaphorical, like, philosophical reason, because you're, like, ridding your body of, like, toxins, and so you're opening that space for, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No.
It makes sense in my head, but I don't know. I can't articulate this on the spot. So. Maybe later I'll come up with like a
You're gonna
Facebook
have the
post of
best thought later.
Yeah, it's gonna be great after we stop rolling.
Yep, exactly.
But I don't know. Maybe like I don't know. I just have good ideas on the toilet.
See, people like me, we have good ideas always. So we don't have to worry about having them on the toilet.
Okay. Well, that's because you do 4 different other types of poos.
To think about.
And I just do one.
That's true. I do have really good thoughts in the shower, though. Like, if you're doing a full exfoliating, like doing your hair and all of that, like, you're in the shower for a minute. So you have to have some kind of thought, unless you're in music videos the whole time, because that's a thing.
True. I don't know if I like... You know what I do in the shower. I mean, I like sing and stuff and like try to hit like notes. But everybody does that.
Great acoustics.
But I don't know like what maybe. Do I have good ideas in the shower? I'll make pop songs in the shower.
Oh, that's interesting.
I regret saying that out loud because I'm very anti-pop music, but for whatever reason that... Let me take that back. I don't make like metal songs in the shower. It's always like singy, songy.
Okay.
Okay, I don't want y'all to think I'm Taylor Swifting in the shower.
My brain went there.
I'm more like R&B, Trippie Redd, and softer side of X in the shower. Tentacion and like them boys.
Okay.
You know, might even
that's funny that
sprinkle
that's
a
your
little
version
SZA on there. You know, so let me say R&B and like acoustic, like kind of not
well, yeah,
not like Swift in it and like who else? That like Pocket. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but
but that makes sense. You're supposed to have the R&B moments in the shower. Like,
right.
That's when they happen. And the water's falling down your face, and like you're singing "Can You Stand the Rain?" Those are good moments. I'm normally Beyonce.
Okay. Yeah. Showers are cool. I don't know. Sometimes I'll be in my metal bag in the shower too, though. Like, especially if I'm like washing my hair and like all of it's in my face, then I'll just feel like kind of animalistic.
I get
just
that.
Be like, ooh, or whatever.
Do you shower with your contacts? Because my contacts are in, so I can't let the water and stuff. They can't get in my face.
I try to take them out. Okay. I often forget. Do you face the shower head majority of the time that you're in there? Okay, I don't do that.
Oh.
I actually have my back turned to the shower head most of the time.
That's odd. I like it just running down like...
Yeah.
Me.
I didn't know that was weird until like I just started seeing it a lot in movies. I'm like, they're always facing the shower head.
Unless I'm washing. Because my showers are like 90% me doing other things and 10% me doing what you're supposed to do in the shower. And so for those, like that 10%, I'll face away, like exfoliate, I'll turn away.
Right.
And then, because I don't want the water running down as I'm trying to wash myself off. That defeats the purpose.
Right.
And so like I'll step over and like do that and then go back over it.
Okay.
But yeah. But while I'm singing or I just stand there. because I'm cold. I'm cold all the time. So I'll get in the shower just because I'm cold.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know it'll be hot. And so I just stand there for like 20 minutes.
Word.
So yeah, no, I face the water.
For sure. Word. All right, let's just add it to the list of things done incorrectly, apparently. Well, this might be TMI, but me and Alan have had this conversation, and Zach, followed by demonstrations, followed by, we actually went on Instagram Live and talked about this. Explain to me your process after you poop. So I'll walk through mine. I turn around, assess the damage, just because I like to look at it, and I wipe as I'm like facing the toilet.
Really?
Yeah, I'll wipe up, so taint up.
Okay.
Yeah. Wait, I have to walk through it.
Yeah, that's what I was like.
Taint up, and then I'll do that however many times is needed. I look to assess, throw it in there, do another one. Might do like a little circular motion.
Yeah.
You know, to get the innards. And then I look at all of it, and then I flush, and then I wash my hands and all that stuff.
That's very interesting. I wipe while I sit down because I feel like it's just like it spreads them so I'm cleaner, if that makes sense. And it's always like 2 or 3 wipes because my sister she won't use tissue. My sister refuses to use tissue. And so now in my head, I feel like you're cleaner with wipes. No evidence to support that whatsoever.
Right.
I just feel like you're cleaner with wipes.
It's just wetter.
Right. It's just
So, I mean, I guess it makes sense. Like,
and so, yeah, no. I definitely don't look as much as you.
yeah, I look a lot.
It looks the same.
I'm also like, yeah, I look a lot.
I'll look if I felt different. Like, if I felt like I was sick, then I would look because your poop colors and like consistency can tell you a lot about how your body's working or how you're feeling and what you've been eating. And so I'll look like if it's important. But for the most part, I don't look.
Yeah. I always go through like kind of like a rating process. You know what I mean?
Like,
just make like observations about it. I was like, oh, this one has a little less structure. Or this one's a little bit more solid. Or like, oh, that's a long one.
Do you connect the health things to that when you...
Yes and no. Not lately. Or I'll be like, oh, that's that Skittle I choked on and swallowed it whole instead of chewing it. You know what I mean? Or whatever the case may be. But yeah, it's never like odd enough to be like, oh, that's a problem. But, you know, there might be some, this one might be a little bit lighter brown than the other one. This one's like, if that one's like real dark brown, I'm like, okay, I need to like drink more water or, I don't know, the consistency. Or if it's like mad green, and I was like, that makes sense. I ate a whole thing of Starburst. But yeah, we had this conversation because one of the individuals reaches between their legs to wipe.
No.
And does top to taint.
But what if you get little pieces left there? Or they just keep going until I guess you keep going until it's clean.
Right. Yeah.
Were they taught that way, or did they develop that?
I don't know, because were you taught how?
Yeah, but as a woman, we never want to wipe things towards.
Right. So like,
so
y'all,
that's we're automatically.
So I feel like as women like grow into womanhood, they naturally have better. Well, one, they naturally have better hygiene, and also like. Y'all are taught better hygienic practices because it's a little bit more important for you all. Y'all have open wounds.
This is super orangey. It's open wounds?
But yeah, nobody taught me how to wipe.
Really?
Yeah, they taught me how to pee.
Yeah. That makes sense, though. I can think about that.
But I don't do that. I don't do the process in which I was taught. Like, you hold it, you pee. You're supposed to hit the little dab on your dinky. And then you're supposed to do the courtesy, whatever, and then flush. I just sometimes I don't even touch it. I just pee.
I've heard guys can
And
do
then
that.
I'll do the courtesy thing if there's like a splash. But yeah.
We're not going to talk about it, but you know what this conversation makes me think of? What story of yours?
Wow. So moving on. But yeah. So I don't know. That's very interesting. But yeah, each one of them had a different peculiar way of wiping, and it was just like a culmination of like this underhand or this wraparound facing the toilet as. That's the one thing we got hung up on. Like, do you face it or do you not face it? Do you face it while you wipe? Do you not face it? I damn near like stand up and look at it as I'm like wiping.
So it's kind of a simultaneous thing. Or
Yeah, like I already turn around I get up and then I reach for the toilet paper.
I think that's so odd, but
And
I
then
feel like it's
wipe
because you have a
as I'm looking
small
at it.
ass. Like,
Maybe.
people who have bigger butts, they can't. You don't clear because your cheeks are it's too much work.
And it also just makes sense to like while you're sitting down, look to the left or whatever and grab it.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes that bitch is like tucked in like the cut, you know what I mean? So I'm not about to throw my arm like all the way back, and I'm not about to reach around with this arm to whatever.
That's funny you say to the left. I wonder if tissue's normally situated to the left.
But sometimes it's to the right too. So like in public, and some like gas stations or like public restaurants and
poop in
stuff like
public?
that. I do.
Okay.
Actually, I definitely like look and see like the quality of the area that I'm pooping in. So there's certain like
Like a bougie gas station.
there's certain like public places I wouldn't like poop. But yeah, in my mind, that bathroom probably gets cleaned more often than
That's
mine.
valid.
You know, I damn sure don't clean my bathroom. But yeah, there is definitely some quality control. Like if I have to like, I don't know, if I'm on Main Street in Columbia and I'm like walking the strip or whatever and I have to poop, I'll go into the Marriott. I've
Okay.
taken plenty of poops in the Marriott, actually. But yeah, I wouldn't go to like, I wouldn't poop and cook out unless like I had to.
Okay.
But at the same time, when you got to do it, you got to do it. So like, I'm not.
You can't always fight it.
Yeah, I'm not a very sanitary person in general. So like, I'll poop and do a little Hail Mary or whatever when I put my butt on the seat, and we'll just go from there.
And things were different pre-COVID. I feel like bathrooms were probably a lot grosser back then. But
Yeah.
now with COVID, everybody's amped up their cleaning.
Right.
So if you had to poop in public, now would be a good time to do it.
And I had like better, I guess, like sanitary habits and like stigmas. But then I went to like college. And when you
Yeah.
go to college, you find yourself under the influence in a lot of different places. And so you compromise a lot of those stigmas. And where you go to the bathroom, a lot of times
One
is
of them.
that thing. And so now it's just like, if I gotta poop, I'm gonna poop.
Mine is peeing. I have the smallest bladder of a woman. I don't know if it was because of the kid. Maybe I had a small bladder before then. But like, I remember never peeing in public. I was like, I'm never going to pee in public. I'm not going to do this. No, there was one night I distinctly remember the line being so long to get into the club. And this girl was like, just go pee in the corner. I'm like, what? No, what are you talking about? Women don't do that. Like, no. No, drunk as fuck. I definitely. And so now, like, peeing in public, I'm just like, it's whatever. I'm not even worried about it. Pick a leaf.
I could probably fill a small counter with the water bottles I've urinated in,
Oh,
in my lifetime.
men are so lucky for that one.
In moving vehicles. But yeah.
I've peed in a cup in a moving vehicle before. Oh, and once at a stoplight, but this was back when I was pregnant, and I don't know whose car we were in, but I really had to pee, and there was nothing even near us. And I was like, that's fine, just give me the cup, because it's either the cup or the seat. Those are the only two options. Yeah.
Plus, I'm feeding in the apple juice bottle.
Oh, God. That's a
And
dangerous
then, like,
game.
it still looks like apple juice. And so somebody who was with me, they didn't drink it, but, like, they were thirsty. And I was like, well, I'm going to just let you know now. This is not apple juice.
God.
So please don't.
Did you ever see the movie Johnson Family Vacation? So the car, like everything's going wrong on the way to their family reunion, and the little boy has to pee, and the dad's like, well, I'm not stopping. So he hands him the cup. He throws the cup out of the window on the interstate, and it smashes into a cop on a bike.
Oh no.
So of course he gets pulled over, but then the luggage wasn't tied properly on their thing, and so everything falls off, and it was just a crazy story. But I always think I would never throw something out of the window.
Right.
That just happened to be the person that it's a cop.
Be the worst.
Right. Oh, in Rock Hill recently, there was a guy, and he was running from the cops. I can't remember what he did, but then he flagged down an undercover police officer. And I was like, the luck of that.
Bless. Well, we've gone from people aren't interesting to handling your business in public to what direction you face when you shower and what locations do you have your most profound thoughts. This is yet another episode of PSYCHii. I hope y'all enjoyed. Joy, I'm going to give you the floor in this last couple seconds to do your whole spiel. You know, if you got a mixtape coming out or something.
If I had a mixtape, trust me, no one would want it.
Let the people know. You know, if they want to reach out to you or follow you or, you know, just talk to you more about your your thoughts or your bowel habits, where could they do that?
Instagram would probably be the best place. It is _ peace, love, joy, like peace, love, and happiness, but peace, love, and me.
Boom. With the I.
With an I.
That's
Joy
important.
with an I, not a Y.
Joy with an I. Yeah. We did it. We did another one. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it. See you next time. Drink tea. Boom.